Hi there, Lowlight27 here. Just want to give you guys an overview of some tools that I use to make customs, and also a good guide for beginners who are trying to figure out what they need to make customs. I specialize in GI Joes and Marvel Universe figures. So what I have here is I have a couple paint wheels. One is for just general colors that I use. Use a lot for my squeeze paints, such as these Vallejo game colors. That's a flesh color right there. The ones you have to squeeze in there for the paint tray. This one's mainly just used for flesh tones. Sometimes I'll put like some stuff in here for detailing. Screwdrivers are especially handy for leg screws. The flathead is good to have for trying to separate torsos. That way you can put right in the shoulder and pop it out. Toothpicks always good for fine details, especially in eyes and getting in the fine details of things. Q-tips are good for dry brushing and just for overall brushes. Paper towels, always have plenty of paper towels, because you're gonna always, when you wet your brush, I always wipe it off on the towel first before I apply paint. As you can see, they're well used and well, this here is this gator clip. This is actually a welder's tool. It has a magnifying glass there, but I don't use that. I use this mainly for just for painting heads and for letting things dry, or details I need to get into. This is a cutting mat. You can get these at any Jo-Ann Fabrics. Good thing to have, especially if you're going to split torsos, and just kind of like a good work mat to have. I always have two things of water, 2 cups of water. One is light or clear. This is mainly just used for decals or for light colors. And then I have a general cup, which is used for darker paints. Paint brushes. I have a whole variety of different paint brushes. You just kind of have to go to different stores and just find the right ones that make you feel comfortable with. And one thing I do have, a few of them are just fine detail paints. These are actual like gaming paint brushes. This is the Army Painter. This is a War Gamer paint. It's called the Psycho. It's more of a fine detail for painting eyes. I have a few of these. They're what they call 20-0 brushes, or smaller. So this is another one. This is just for insane. You can see that. It's for insane detailing. Let me turn this light off, see if this works. Yeah, okay. That might be a little bit better. You can see that. So that's just a detailer. I have a few of these brushes that I use. Just one, you always have a couple around just in case, whichever one you think works best for you. Again, there's a, kind of see that one. Sorry, you forgot the focus on these cameras here. That's a 20-0. That's what I use for eyes. I have a few of these brushes around. I have some that are just like big brushes to kind of get an overall feel for a figure. And then I try to keep as many of these gloves, just like any kind of rubber glove or latex gloves. That way you don't get paint all over your fingers. This is my toolbox. So in my toolbox I've got several different things here that always are helpful to use. Tweezers, especially good with the bent clip there. I got plenty of utility knives to kind of cut either decals or carve out things. I have a few utility knives. One, I have two because I lost one of them and I found it again. These are good for splitting torsos. That's what I use for doing that. And I have a regular number 2 X-Acto knife. These are a little detail for clay and for sculpting, especially with heads. I got a couple dental tools as well. Another screwdriver. This little baggie here has got these little necklace roundlets. What that's good for is if you're gonna make straps on guns. It's good. I just like having it for a special detail. And to do that is I have a little ribbon here. It's a 1/16 by 24 feet. It's $2 at a Hobby Lobby. And then here's my Pro Sculpt. That's what I use for sculpting heads or details on figures. I also have like a bag of just some random decals, water slides. This is epoxy sculpt. This is also another good thing to use, especially when you're making more detailed stuff. You know, when you're adding stuff on, like hair and even crafting heads. I have some wax carving tools. These I just got on Amazon. You can get them on Amazon. And let's see, Sculpey. Can't go wrong with Sculpey. Sculpey's a baking clay. So the one thing you gotta be careful though is when you do use Sculpey, is that you can warp the head or whatever you're sculpting. It will heat the plastic, and the plastic may warp. Let's see, plenty of crazy glue, and I got some pens as well. So that's what I have in my toolbox and the tools I use to make customs. One other good thing to have, I have a small, very fine file. That's always good to have, just to make sure that, you know, everything kind of smooths out, especially when you get rough edges on plastic and stuff. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me or look me up on Facebook at Lowlight27 On Point Customs, and be sure to like this video. Thanks. We'll talk to you soon.